If there was something that my year 1 self was excited for about uni life back then, it was 100% the student exchange. But at one point, the pandemic hit, and almost all hope was lost. Then somehow, the stars aligned, and I had one last chance to make it happen. This is how my study abroad dream came true. What's up guys, and if you're new here, my name is Mark and I'm a final year business student studying at the National University of Singapore. It's been a long time coming, but I wanted to share a story about my life as an exchange student studying in Stockholm, Sweden earlier this year. And now that everything is pieced together, let's go back to how it all started. In January this year, I made the trip towards the Scandinavian region with my two buddies, the Sams. It was a long time leading up to this exchange, having supposed to go the past 3 times, but having those plans cancelled because of COVID. The Sams and I arrived at our apartment in Stockholm and got settled down for our first week of school. While the Sams studied at the KTH University, I took classes just 15 minutes away at the business school in Stockholm University. This was where I started to meet fellow Singaporeans studying in Stockholm, like Richard, Lenny, Mel, John, Shem, and many others who became my close community while in Sweden. We learned how to cook our own meals, adjust to the extremely cold weathers in Stockholm, explore the city, and after a while, this place started to feel like home. But upon completing our first class in Stockholm, it was time to explore the world. First stop, the Arctic Circle. Our first and only trip as housemates led us to Tromsø in Norway, where we found ourselves feeding reindeers.
Don't chase me! Don't chase me!
We also explored the vast landscapes of the Norwegian land and experienced Tromsø's first sunrise in 2 months. And even had some snowball fights in the cold winter. But more importantly, we set out in the cold with a campfire under the moon and stars as we tried to catch the northern lights. Not once, but twice. And were greeted by the Green Lady on both occasions because of our lovely guides.
Bye!
This was something that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. Within the first month, we also managed to visit Rovaniemi in Finland, known for its Santa Claus village. This was where we crossed frozen lakes by husky sledding and snowmobiling. It was a fun couple of weeks travelling with friends, and even though I was missing out on some events that I usually celebrate with family, like Chinese New Year, it was refreshing to have the experience with newfound friends. truthfully, exchange life was set up to be one of the best stages of my life thus far, if not the best. But that wasn't without its own set of challenges. Now, here's Chapter 2, The Struggles of Exchange Life. During my first month of exchange, I actually went through a pretty few L's. I caught COVID, went through so many airport problems like missing my flights. I also lost my student residence permit. We got into car accidents, and I also was faced with the realization that I wasn't going to be travelling to all my planned destinations with my housemates. Also, being in a foreign country gave me a sense of uncertainty and unfamiliarity that I wasn't used to. It was a reminder again that things don't always go according to plan, but what matters is how you react and how you move on. Then I started getting a lot more concerned about things like budget, being homesick, relationships, and even getting stressed about finding an internship for the upcoming summer. That led my sentimental self to calling many friends and family back home. I was definitely missing everybody, so FaceTiming many of them really helped me to realize that I was just getting caught up in my own head. It also reminded me that my time on exchange was short. I had to embrace the opportunity right in front of me and focus on the things that truly made me come alive. So once I sorted my mindset out, I noticed that my next module in Stockholm University was going to be fully online. So you know what that means.
Save me, I'm holding on to you, my soul is fading. I'm falling into it, why don't you save me? My blood is running cold, so lift me up and give me higher ground.
Spending time overseas with family, trying out solo travelling, and meeting new friends along the way, to just exploring parts of the world with close buddies. Despite it becoming a very hectic season of travelling, this was truly a very life-changing month for me, and one that I'll never forget.
Yay!
The month ended with me turning 25, a milestone in which I learned so many new things about myself, with a renewed perspective for life and appreciation for my family and friends. I took the time to also document some of my thoughts in turning 25 on camera. Maybe I'll turn them into a video to look back on in the future too. My housemate Smong also decided to surprise me by asking my family to write me a birthday book before we left for Sweden, and kept it for 3 months in his luggage before hiding it under my bed while I celebrated my birthday virtually with my family. This was the exact moment when I found out.
Oh, what? Where are you?
My hair a bit nasty lah.
Thanks,
Nasty.
I'm gonna cry already.
Very serious ah. Can cry.
Yeah, no, I'm not crying for you. It's good.
You cry. That's content, bro. Yeah.
Thumbnail.
It really just reminded me how blessed I was to be with friends, and all those thoughts and tiny struggles in the earlier months were just gone. I also got to hang out with friends who were more interested in photography, like Mr. Jax and Wei Pin, which encouraged me to go out there and create more exciting memories and content. It was such a blessing to be able to travel while studying, and have these experiences that reignited something in my heart. By that point, I was midway through my exchange life, and I was just hungry for more adventures. Now, you might think that this was the craziest part of exchange. I mean, sure, it did get a bit more hectic with having to do schoolwork and studying for exams, but nah, for the next 2 months or so, it only just got better and better, and you will see why. We took a last-minute student party cruise to Estonia, where I got closer to my housemate Sam Tay and alongside a bunch of friends from Stockholm too. It was a quick and random decision, but those were the nights that we never slept. A spontaneous trip filled with laughter and a lot of freezing in the cold. Following that, Spong and I visited the beautiful countries in the Eastern European region, where we experienced so much culture and energy in the cities and islands.
We are legends every day. That's what she told me. Turn your magic on. To me she'd say, everything you want's a dream away. Under this pressure, under this weight, we are diamonds. And I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. I feel my heart beating. You make me feel like I'm alive.
Believe me when I said that I was trying to do some schoolwork while on this trip, but clearly it was quite difficult to do so. And so, after an exciting couple of days, we found ourselves with Mr. Jax and Ben Chan in the land of the horses. A trip that almost never happened. This was by far my favourite place while I was on exchange, because it had everything. Kind people, the best travel companions, amazing food, and breathtaking views. This was Cappadocia. Soon, I was at the final month of my exchange life. Right after my exams, I packed up my bags and headed towards Western Europe to link up with my fellow batchmates Kels and Nat, crashing their graduation trip through Europe in Germany and Denmark. We explored the cities of Munich, Berlin, and Copenhagen in what felt like my own grad trip too.
Out here in the fields, I found for my meals. I get my back into my living.
But wait, there's more. I took another short trip towards the amazing lakeside village of Horstadt, where we visited the salt mines and just enjoyed our time facing the calm waters. Just after that, I was in Vienna, a city filled with so many kind strangers that offered to let me eat with them and provided me with free food. Last but not least, I met a local film photographer called Max, who I bumped into at a local Starbucks. And surprisingly, he offered to show me his studio, teaching me a lot more about film photography. It was those moments where you just had to trust your gut and go with the flow. So shout out to you, Max. Thanks for making my trip to Vienna so memorable. If I could describe my exchange journey in one word, it would be blessed. for almost not getting to go for exchange to living through and experiencing some of the best moments of my life. This was something that I could only thank God for. And our last trip encapsulated all those feelings. The one and only road trip of my exchange life, alongside two brothers named Jax and Ryan Giselle. Though it was only a short 5 days, we drove around the country taking in the views that I've been dreaming of as a kid. This was our final destination, the Icelandic road trip.
Can't see the stars, but we're reaching. Trying to get through the dark on a feeling. Oh, lost our gravity, now we're weightless. But I know in my heart we can take this. We got monsters in our closets. Had a reason, but we lost it. No direction. We've been calling through the night, through the night. If love is a lie, then why do we need it? We swear we're alive, but we're falling to pieces. We fight like lions, we howl at the moon. We should be fine, instead we bury the truth. But I know inside we're beautiful creatures.
With that, I was just left with 1 week in Stockholm, breathing in the peacefulness and slow pace of life here for the final time. I'll miss absolutely everything about this stage of my life. And it was more than just studying in a different country. From cooking together and having meals in large groups, to adventures filled with good energy and adrenaline. Playing football and badminton, meeting genuinely nice and kind people, and finding the best spots to watch the sunset. It was also surreal to just explore this amazing city that I called home for a bit. And from the first day at the start of the year till the very end, I had brothers that shared this real sense of happiness with me.
回家鱼。
回家喽！
I'll never be 25 again, traveling the world with some of my best friends, meeting new people while ticking off many items on my bucket list. And so, without a doubt, this film will immortalize every happy and sad moment I've had forever.
Fight like lions, we howl at the moon. We should be flying, instead we bury the truth.
Welcome to Interlude.
We're beautiful creatures.
I've learned to take things slow, to take care of myself, and to be thankful at each step of the way. I'm grateful for my family and friends who supported me all this time. And this entire experience reminded me to live in the moment, to stop worrying about the unknown ahead, and to enjoy each chapter while they last. I waited 2 years chasing this dream, and almost came close to giving up on it, only for it to turn out better than I could ever hope for.
We're beautiful creatures. Used to pray for a moment just like this. There's a fire in your eyes I can't resist. experiences. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. I can taste it forever on your lips. There's a lifetime living inside that kiss. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. We ain't getting any younger. To be honest, I don't care. I'm not trying to live forever. I'm just trying to be right here. This I know. Only now it's all we got. This I know. Just one more dance, two more drinks. It'll go by fast, so don't you blink. Used to pray for a moment just like this. There's a fire in your eyes I can't resist. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. I can taste it forever on your lips. There's a lifetime living inside that kiss. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Life moves a little faster every second I'm with you. I didn't know what I was after until I found it all in you. This I know. If tonight is all we got, then don't let go. Yeah, yeah. Just one more dance, two more drinks. It'll go by fast, so don't you blink. Used to pray for a moment just like this. There's a fire in your eyes I can't resist. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. I can taste it forever on your lips. There's a lifetime living inside that kiss. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Remember, remember, remember. Wanna remember, remember, remember. Wanna remember, remember, remember. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this.
That was the worst scream ever.
I cannot.